mouth. And stupidly I did, and he had an eyedropper, and he squirted a bunch of fucking acid in my mouth. Like, I could feel it. It's like, and you're not supposed to. I could feel this shit running down the back of my throat. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, oh man, you're gonna be high. That was like 20 or 30 hits of acid, man. And he was right, because I used to, well, back when I sold acid, you know, I used to use an eyedropper to put the drops on individual hits, and an eyedropper will hold about 20 to 30 hits. So I knew I was in trouble. So my goal was to get back to my house as soon as possible before the shit kicked in, right? Because I didn't know what to expect on acid hits. I'd never taken more than like 3 or 4 at a time. And 3 and 4, you're pretty high. Well, I got on the fucking bus and it kicked in. You know, usually it takes an hour to kick in and shit. Now this kicked in like 20 minutes. So I'm kind of fucked.
And you actually can have a religious experience, and it can be even more important than reading the Bible 6 times or becoming a pope or something like that, you know.
You know how like when you're on acid, like, you know, shit kind of breeze, you know, the colors are brighter, you know, you see tracers and shit. Not on 20 or 30 hits you don't. You lose your fucking mind, man. Like I almost went blind. I was hallucinating so hard. I was seeing shit like melt before my eyes. I couldn't read. My whole frame of vision was like constantly like shifting like that. I was like, what the fuck? I missed my bus stop. Like high as fuck. Got off the wrong bus. The wrong bus stop. And I was only like maybe a mile away from my house, right? But I was so high I couldn't even fucking walk straight, man. I ended up sitting next to the canal, talking to myself until the sun came up. And I peaked for like 5 or 6 hours, man. Not like 1 or 2 hours, like a couple hits. I peaked like at least 5 or 6 hours. I lost all concept of reality and time. It was quite spiritual, and I wasn't really scared though because I knew it was just the drug. So I was more worried that I couldn't find my way home, and it took me like 8 hours to like, which should have taken me like 20 minutes, but I made it. And I was high for like 2 days. Kind of sucked. I started to get worried after a while because I was like, am I ever gonna not be high again? And so yeah, that was my experience. I don't recommend taking that much LSD.